So I'm Bryant. I'm an extraterrestrial contactee from Portland, Oregon. And this morning I was noticing CE2 kind of contacts where I'm having a telepathic awareness of the vehicle occupant again. I guess I should call it an extraterrestrial spaceship occupant so nobody gets confused by my word choice. And so I was noticing multiple extraterrestrial contacts this morning, and I thought I perceived a civilization I know as the Playaran, with those associated with the star of Lyra. And I noticed I was really concerned about a perceived imbalance between resources and the number of people here on our planet Earth. And I'm going here in my home state of Oregon. I feel like there's a lot of arable farmland and hungry people, for example, where people want to call this overpopulation. I'm going to term it an imbalance between population and resources, where I go, why can't the resources be rebalanced over here? Where it's, there's some kind of land grant, and I think somewhere in our state sources it was given that 1 in 7 people in Oregon face hunger, and that seems wrong to me that there's all this arable farmland over there. I don't know how much of this is an economic imbalance because I don't see like people fighting for food on the shelves in stores. I don't see like a lack of food in shelves in stores, and I wonder how much is being thrown out when it gets past the expiration date in stores here in Oregon. And I'm going, if somebody perceives overpopulation elsewhere on Earth, why is my population suffering when we can remedy that with like a farm or like a land grant over there? That has to be a reasonable discussion for a fight for your rights people, where you're also tempering your worldview with reality, I might say. But I'm having this problem with Pliaran where I don't want to mock a person from Italy, but I'm hearing someone with like an Italian, noticing someone with like an Italian accent trying to psychically project to them, like, I just worship the god. And I'm worried you're in like, no. How dare you, mister? How dare you? How dare you? You're in something like, how dare you come at our civilization that way if you're looking for Semyasi's Pliaran? You're in something like, how dare you? How dare you, Yahwehists? How dare you? Because that man, that's what we call Lord Yahweh. That's that man. Sometimes we call him that. At least I call him that in my home. That's what I call him. Is that man? That man? You want to talk about that man? That man. That man is telling some Catholics, just go fornicate and forget about it. Just go go out there and make more Catholics and forgive yourself. Just have a mea culpa. I made more Catholics and forgive myself. When to other people in other places in the world, that same Lord, I'm having my Lord and your Lord, is having the warnings and dangers of overpopulation. Here, overpopulation, they're overpopulation. I remember a different Pliaran from outside Semyasi's cohort once couched this in terms of a imbalance between population and resources. And so I hope Semyasi's cohort will forgive me for couching it in those terms. It's not because I feel like the imbalance between population and resources here in my home state could possibly be remedied. With something of a reallocation of resources. Land over here. So land over here is reallocated. There's enough homeland for those thousands of hungry people. So is this arable farmland? There's that arable farmland. It's like the resources aren't impossible to acquire, but as much as I don't like the state sometimes, what am I going to do without the social structures of the state? So that's about where I am this morning. Nobody has the right to approach her cohort. Nobody has the right to approach Semyasi's cohort and have. I'm sorry because I want this to be directed at the appropriate parties. I don't want to do my best Italian accent, where you to just to worship that man, you have to you're something like grr. Something like grr of a response, yeah, grr. Not because somebody's noticed the Lyran souls in Semyasi's cohort rage, that they follow her around, that they rage at that man. And as I think the rage is going to continue as long as even one woman is being punished for original sin. Or with apologies to the East, sometimes Easterners are looking at this in the context of karma. And this isn't being judged in the context of karma. It's like sometimes all women are bad, and other times it's allowed for them to be women and just have normal women's thoughts. So I'll just wrap up my morning commentary with sometimes that man manifests differently for people. And that's a real issue for Pleiadian civilization. If you want to try to approach them or psychically project them, that's a real issue for Pleiadian civilization, and they're allowed to deny your divine right. Because people are asserting divine right differently in their perception. Their perception in Pleiadian civilization is divine rights being asserted differently. And I want to address some other objections right now. There are other objections that I've noted among the Pleiadian when I thought I saw a being who said they're called Pleiadian. It's the E2 contact. I should wrap this up here. It's like have a fine day, video audience, and I don't know, maybe be pragmatic about the imbalance between population and resources in our world.